And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, folks, today is a big ol' Wednesday. So we've got our NFL draft prospect of the day, looking at Kyle Trask, quarterback from Florida. We were going to look at him yesterday, but we had that jury duty that we had to take care of, so we had to rush through the show. Good news, we are not a juror, so, we are coming at you live, uninterrupted, noon Eastern every day for the next 8 years until we have to go and do it again and possibly get picked. So maybe 8 years down the road, we'll have to switch up the schedule here, but for the next 8 years, folks, we're all here, noon Eastern every single day, so no time restraints today. Feeling good. Probably will take up 3 hours today while we can. I mean, I took it for granted. I took all the time that we were doing the show for granted when I had to cram it all in only 30 minutes yesterday. But we're good. We're back on track, regular schedule. So doing an NFL draft prospect, breaking down what happened yesterday in the NBA, doing a moneymaker for the NBA. We also have to talk about what happened with March Madness, kind of because we never fully saw what happened in the second round, in the second part of the second round. What was it? Monday's games, whatever. Yeah, Monday's games. We weren't able to cover because of the fast show yesterday. So we will take a look at that as well to see where we're at, because we did make up some ground, folks. Do not count us out. We had a little bit of a bad first day, but we've been picking it up pace ever since then. So we'll see where the rankings are in our own tournament that we are running. And then, as always, breaking down the stories of the day. So let's get right into it. Here we go. Man, oh man, this is what we didn't watch, but unfortunately, the Raiders played the waiting game with Marcus Mariota, and unfortunately, it did not fare well for Marcus Mariota. So Marcus Mariota does take a reworked pay cut contract to stay with the Raiders. Truly unfortunate. We loved what Marcus Mariota showed us in his kind of brief one game with the Raiders last season. We liked it. We liked what we saw, his accuracy, his passing ability, moving out of the pocket, using his legs to pick up a couple of yards. So really just everything was fantastic. We know it was only one game, but we really kind of wanted to see Marcus Mariota get another chance at a starting roster. And there was some teams that were opening up, and I'm really kind of still shocked that the Bears went with Andy Dalton over Marcus Mariota. Like, literally, they were both up there. You could have gotten both of them, and you're telling me you couldn't get Marcus Mariota for $10 million? Come on. Or at least trade him, or you could have traded with the Raiders or something. I'm sure their asking price wasn't super high on Marcus Mariota. Maybe you could have even tried to offload that big old Nick Foles contract in some way with the deal with the Raiders. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. No team trades for Marcus Mariota, so he does have to take a pay cut to stay with the Raiders. Unfortunate. It's a 1-year deal worth $3.5 million, up to $8 million incentive-wise. And then Ian Rappaport clarifies a little bit more. The original pay cut offer of $3 million, so takes that $3 million hit, unfortunately, for Marcus Mariota. But Marcus Mariota did negotiate back up, giving him a chance to kind of earn a lot of that money back with those incentives. So at least he didn't get totally burned on the deal. Hopefully he can try to make up some of those incentives to kind of pay him more to try and hit close to that $8 million max as you can. I'm sure some of the incentives is play like, a certain amount of snaps, which isn't going to happen, obviously. It does seem like they are going to stick with Derek Carr as their quarterback. But man, oh man, I was kind of disappointed. I really wanted Marcus Mariota to try to go somewhere else, try to be the starter. But he's going to be the backup quarterback for the Raiders next season. And then we get a quote, so we can't feel too bad for him. Marcus Mariota not fretting the pay cut, quote, just excited to be a Raider. Now I don't know if he firmly believes this or not. I mean, the reason why he had to resign was there was really kind of no market for him, unfortunately, right now. With, all the quarterbacks in the draft, still Deshawn Watson, little up in the air, the Bears and the Colts kind of getting their quarterback already. So, I mean, there wasn't a lot of opportunity, a lot of wiggle room in those contract negotiations with the Raiders, and they kind of forced his hand. So, I am truly saddened to see Marcus Mariota still in the backup role. I do want to see him get one more chance. Now, not all these chances. I don't want to keep seeing him getting chances over and over and over again. Maybe like Cam Newton a little bit. At some point, we just gotta be like, all right, let's start to give other people some chances here. And that other person probably would have been Marcus Mariota I want to see. So we'll see what happens. I mean, during the NFL season, he can still get traded. That's still kind of in his clause of his renegotiated contract. So we'll see what happens to him, but he truly impressed me, and I would like to see this man be a starter somewhere. Alrighty, let's move on. In the Bucs, man, they are looking for the repeat, and I'm not excited about that. I mean, we saw all the great quarterback play in the season just last year, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Tom Brady's going to do Tom Brady things, which is do be clutch and not turn the ball over when it matters, and he's going to win a ring. Drew Brees throwing 3 interceptions, and Aaron Rodgers not being able to be clutch and cash in on the 3 interceptions by Brady, and you give this man all the second chances he needs, he's going to cash in with a ring, with the championship. That's what the man has done his entire career, and now watch out because he's looking for number 8. So the Bucs do extend the contract of their nice offensive tackle here to help protect Tom Brady, so Tom Brady's not getting hit. His arm's still going to be good. He's not going to get wear down. He's going to be able to make that kind of long 4 or 5 months journey from week 1 to the Super Bowls like he just did this season. So the line is short up still, and we already know. I mean, let's just recap what they've done already. They tagged Chris Godwin, who is probably their best wide receiver throughout the entire season, not just, early in the season or late in the season or in the playoffs or the Super Bowl. This man was really consistent the entire season, so a great pickup there. They re-signed Levante David and Shaq Barrett on the defensive end, so still great there. Rob Gronkowski is back. Ryan Suckup is still the kicker, and Ndamukong Suh is officially back. Now we're just kind of waiting on JPP. That's not looking like it's going to happen, but if they do get JPP and Ndamukong Suh, I mean, what are we doing up front? You're not going to be able to do anything, any running games. Tom Brady's obviously back. Donovan Smith is back now. The two kind of up in the air right now are Antonio Brown and Leonard Fournette. Antonio Brown, not a huge piece. He did kind of step it up a little bit in the postseason. Same thing with Leonard Fournette. I mean, he didn't have any great games, but that Super Bowl game, he was absolutely clutch. They still got Ronald Jones, who was kind of their premier back anyway, but their kind of main core pieces, who they kind of relied on all season, are all back. So we got to give the 2022 Super Bowl to the Bucs, I guess. I think early predictions are kind of saying that now that they're kind of getting everybody back officially. And why wouldn't you want to come back and try to compete for another ring? I mean, you've got Brady, so you've already got the quarterback taken care of, and you've got the leadership and the winning. You've got all that. You've got the dynasty backed up behind you. So how do you not re-sign with this team, whether it's for less money or whatever it is? You get a really great probability of winning another ring back to back. Try to three-peat. I mean, this is what we're kind of realistically looking at for the next 3 seasons, folks. 2 seasons. Tom Brady three-peating. These are possibilities. So I don't like to root against greatness because I love watching greatness, but man, oh man, I think I might be a little tired of this greatness a little bit, just because nobody else steps it up or is clutch, and it's just, it's frustrating. But well done for the Bucs, getting the band back together officially, basically. Alrighty, this one just hit up about a half hour before we went live. Texans are signing wide receiver Chris Conley to a 1-year deal worth $2 million. So we know the wide receiver position was kind of a little short at the end of the season for the Texans. They still have Kiki Cutie. Can't really trust him. He fumbles way too much. They just got rid of Will Fuller. What they have right now is Brandon Cooks and somebody else. Do I still have it up? No, I don't. So Chris Conley coming up here. Last season, he was with the Jags for the last 2 seasons. 2019, he only had 47 catches for 775 yards, 5 touchdowns. And then in 2020, he only played 4 games with 40 receptions as well. So, I mean, basically the same amount of receptions, but a lot less yards, 471 yards with 2 touchdowns. He's never been the kind of A1, Tier 1 wide receiver. He's never had that 1,000-yard receiving season. So that's not going to be his role there in Houston, since he's going to be playing there this year, obviously, since they just signed him. That's why we're talking about it. But Yeah, he's not going to be the number one. Brandon Cooks is probably still going to be that number one wide receiver, but definitely a solid number two, number three if they need him there. He's a 6'3", wide receiver, so absolutely, that's exactly what you're looking for. Just kind of needs to be a little bit more of kind of the premier player in the offense, and we'll see kind of how his production picks up. But Chris Conley working out with potentially Deshaun Watson. I mean, we still don't even know what's going on with him. We do have a story on him coming up, but Chris Conley gets signed to the Texans. All right, Bengals, they signed cornerback Eli Apple. I am a kind of a big fan of Eli Apple ever since he came out of the draft. He's never really stuck anywhere. He's never had the big name or the big moment, and he's getting kind of shuffled around team to team to team to team. I mean, he started in 2018 with the Giants, played 2016 and 2017 with the Giants. Then in 2018, he played with the Giants and the Saints, and then 2019 he was still with the Saints. Then 2020 he was just with the Panthers, but he only played 2 games, never started any games, and then they ship him out to the Bengals this season. So just kind of somebody to keep your eye on. Definitely a solid talent. He's not a Richard Sherman lockdown, pure kind of lockdown corner, but I do root for this man. He's 6'1", great height at the corner position. I think he's got some nice skills, just hasn't really been the big name. So just kind of keep an eye out for this man. I want to see this man have success. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that with the Bengals, because the Bengals really don't have anything, and they're going to kind of probably expect him to kind of be the premier corner on that team, but we'll see what happens. But I'm definitely rooting for this man. Alrighty, and then that brings us to classic, another Deshaun Watson story right here. So Deshaun Watson's lawyer, Rusty Harden, said in a statement that his law firm has, quote, strong evidence showing that one of the lawsuits alleging sexual assault against Watson is false, and that it, quote, calls into question the legitimacy of the other cases as well. So if you haven't been keeping up, the stories have just been piling and mounting up about Deshaun Watson with the sexual misconduct. We are now up to 16. Yes, you heard that right. It was 14 yesterday. 2 more have come forward, and now that's the grand total of 16. Now, these are civil cases, not criminal cases. So the burden of proof in civil cases is a lot lower than it is in criminal cases. Ask me, I was just a potential juror, folks. I know the ins and outs of the law enforcement system. Of the judicial system. So with criminal cases, the burden of proof is, beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what you have to prove. In civil cases, it's basically kind of, 51%. You got to have a little bit more than majority. That's all it is. So yeah, I believe kind of, 51%, that he did it. If you're kind of battling internally, if you have to put a percentage to it, you'd be like, yeah, kind of all this evidence. Yeah, probably 51%. So yeah, you win the case because of that. So burden of proof is lower in civil courses. That's kind of why a lot of people say, hey, it's for like a lot of money in some circumstances. I mean, if this is real sexual assault, you would think they would have had criminal charges the day or the day after it happened, not months, kind of. I don't even know when all this took place, but months, I'm assuming. So let's read this article here by ESPN, see if we get any kind of tasty nuggets here of information. So we can just start here. In his statement Tuesday issued before lawsuits number 15 and 16 were filed. So they're trying to defend themselves, and just more and more are coming out here. But Harden, Deshaun's lawyer, says that Busby, the prosecutor's lawyer, whatever it is, Busby has, quote, orchestrated a circus-like atmosphere by using social media to publicize 14 Jane Doe lawsuits, and that the lawyer has been refused. That the lawyer has also refused Harden's request to, quote, to confidentially provide the names of the plaintiffs so that we can fully investigate the claims. So Busby is like, yeah, we're not even telling you the names. So Deshaun Watson doesn't even know the names of all these 16 people that are coming out with lawsuits against him. So yeah, that definitely makes it a little fishy if they're not kind of providing the names. Seems a little sketchy. Where else do we get here? A little quote here about another lawsuit here. In January of this year, a woman attempted to blackmail Deshawn by demanding $30,000 in exchange for her, quote, indefinite silence about what she stated was a consensual encounter. So, this just kind of muddies the water a little bit. We've got people that are just money hungry, fame hungry, clout hungry, just wanting to kind of blackmail Deshawn Watson and, on a consensual encounter. So they already know it's consensual, but the woman's like, hey, give me $30,000 or I'm going to make a big deal out of this. You're famous, right? You got a contract negotiation coming up. You really don't want this in the news, so pay me $30,000. Like, this is how it's going down. So is all these 16 cases really this reliable? Is this the case that Deshaun Watson's lawyer is talking about, that we have credible evidence, and that just puts into question all these other ones? And now we get Busby, this kind of maniac lawyer that's saying, hey, I don't need any money, but I'm just kind of doing this to do it because obviously I don't need the money. I can show y'all, but I'm not going to show y'all. I can show you how much money I have. Trust me, I don't need this money from this kind of lawsuit. So it's really kind of wonky here. I'm starting to kind of side with Deshaun Watson here, that he's kind of innocent. And all these are just kind of, encounters of massage therapy that, is kind of in a little bit of a gray zone, but not really a true gray zone. We've got people here with consensual encounters now asking for $30,000. We can keep going here. The lawsuit reference alleges that Watson sent a direct message to the plaintiff over Instagram, then scheduled a massage for December 28th, 2020 at an office building in Houston. After leaving the room, the massage therapist alleges that she returned to find Watson laying on the massage table on his stomach with just a small towel covering his butt. She alleges that when Watson turned over midway through the massage, he, quote, got more aggressive, forcefully telling her to move her hand down to his pubic area. Alrighty, I don't know really how far you go down on a massage, what kind of massage. I know we were talking about kind of Swedish massages the other day when we were kind of going over this Deshaun Watson lawsuit. All right, the plaintiff alleges that she felt, quote, intimidated and threatened. Now that's where it really comes in, the power play. And, quote, was afraid of someone like Watson could do if she did not submit to his demands. All righty, person in power. That's kind of what they're claiming right now. She says in the lawsuit that Watson made it clear repeatedly that he could, quote, help or hurt her career. Hey, babe, if you do this for me, I can hook you up with my boys, all the other Texans, and, I can give you all their services if you do a good job. Man, oh, man. Tough, man. This lawsuit alleges that Watson forced the women into oral sex and says that she, quote, did not consent. So now we've got consensual encounters and non-consensual encounters. All right, Bernie said in the declaration that the woman said she wanted to be paid $30,000 for, quote, for what she referred to as indefinite silence about her encounter with Watson. Bernie said that in the declaration that the women told him it was, quote, a consensual encounter. That's kind of going back to what we were talking about. Alrighty. On Tuesday, Busby said Watson and Bernie, his attorney, repeatedly insisted that Jane Doe sign a non-disclosure agreement and that she refused to do so. Busby also questioned whether Watson could keep track of, Busby saying, can you even keep track of all his massage sessions? Damn, the man was getting massaged every single day. And I mean, we've got 16 people, so who knows how deep this thing goes, or who's actually, wanting the money, but who's actually wanting justice, man. So I don't know, man. This story, it just keeps on coming out every single day. We're getting more evidence, more people coming out, consensual encounters, non-consensual encounters, nutting on people's massage therapists' faces and chest, and forcing oral sex or intimidating for oral sex. So I don't know, man. These are all civil cases. I'm starting to lean a little bit that this is a little blasphemous and a little bit maybe not exactly what's going on. I think some of these women just want some money, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if Deshaun Watson gets fully cleared or if more stories come out, which I'm sure they will. I mean, we're at 16 by now, 2 every day, it seems like. So we'll come back tomorrow with some updates on the story, but it's not looking great for him with all the cases, but they're all civil. So I'll let y'all decide on that. Alrighty, let's move on here. Alabama cornerback Patrick Surtain with a 4.42 40. Yes, sir. Now, we did already look at this man in our draft prospect countdown. He was looking all right, classic. I mean, we just see that he won the SEC Defensive Player of the Year in 2020. How much weight are we going to put on that behind because of, the whole COVID situation and all that? But I think we were a little bit more impressed with Caleb Fairley at the cornerback position over Patrick Sutton. But I will definitely tell you this, running a 4.4, I'm all about it, absolutely. Fast defensive backs, keeping up with those speedy wide receivers. I mean, we're getting faster and faster and faster wide receivers every single year in the draft, and Tyreek Hill has kind of made the mark in the NFL. Now we're getting like every year. I mean, oh man, who's the Dolphins wide receiver? Ugh, that's kind of a speedy wide receiver like Tyreek Hill. Now we get Jalen Waddle coming into the league, kind of like Tyreek Hill as well. So that's what the kind of the league is going to a little bit more as well. Kind of the same thing with Taysom Hill. I mean, using just a speedy guy in the gadget play, even though he's a quarterback, we're putting him at the tight end position just so we can get the speed factor on the field. So definitely need speed in the backfield. And with Patrick Surtain the second running a 4.4 40, he's going to get drafted very high, folks. Easily going to be the top two cornerbacks taken, whether it's Patrick Surtain first and then Caleb Fairley or vice versa. But yeah, the man has definitely sold his draft stock here with the unofficial 4.4 40. Alrighty, let's shift over to some NBA stories now, and we all know that social media, Bleacher Report, ESPN, all those sports accounts love when Blake Griffin just does anything, and now that he's kind of consistently playing off the bench for the Nets, they just cannot help themselves with the highlights here. So we get this video right here, this little clip with the tweet saying Blake going all out for the Nets, and we see him kind of diving for a little bit of a loose ball here. Look at him go on the floor and lay it all out. He wasn't doing this in Detroit, folks. He was not giving all this effort in Detroit. So he finally got out of that bad situation in Detroit, playing actually pretty well here. He's coming off the bench, getting down to the low post. We'll go over his stats on just what happened last night because they just played and they won, and without Kyrie Irving. So James Harden should be MVP hands down, but I don't know why I need to keep saying this. Some of y'all just don't listen. But yeah, Blake Griffin's actually kind of getting it done here off the bench. He's not taking 6 threes a game, which is absolutely fantastic. He took 2 last night and hit 1, so I'm all about that. Yeah, take the 2. Take the 3. Maybe. I don't really want to see any more than 3 kind of consistently unless we're hitting 75%, which he's not. He's getting rebounds. He's playing in the low post. That's exactly what we want. We want the 10-plus points, and we want kind of 5-6-plus rebounds, not taking a lot of threes. And that's what we're getting here off the bench for Blake Griffin. So, hey, got to give it up for him. He's kind of retooling his game, fitting the needs of what this Nets team needs off the bench. And I'm kind of excited to see Blake Griffin back out in action. He's kind of getting it done. These what is he playing, 2 games right now with the Nets? And I think he's gotten it done kind of both games. He started a little light with only 2 points his first game, but he was up to like 8 this game. So getting better off the bench. Love it. Alrighty, this ain't good. Steph Curry will miss at least 3 more games after an MRI revealed inflammation in his tailbone. So Warriors, they're really kind of on the cusp of the playoffs. Are they in the top 10? Don't think they are. Where are they at right now? They are currently number 9 in the West, so we know the play-in game is for the 7, 8, 9, 10 seed. So those 4 teams will play in the play-in tournament to decide who gets the actual 7th and 8th seed. So Warriors at 22 wins, currently at number 9. These next 3 games, I mean, the Pelicans are only 3 games out from kind of overtaking the Warriors at that 9th spot. So they're going to have to clean it up. We know they're kind of struggling with Steph Curry on the court, so they're definitely struggling without him on the court as well. They just lost last night. Not great. So we'll see what happens here with the Warriors, but they're going to have to get Curry back, and they're going to have to start playing solid basketball. Everybody's starting to step it up to kind of close out this back half of the season if they want to have a chance to make the playoffs. But it's going to make it a little bit harder with Steph Curry being out. Alrighty, and I'm not really getting where all this is coming from, but alrighty. We know the trade deadline is tomorrow at 3 p.m., so, tomorrow's show is going to be nuts. All those kind of last-second trade deadlines, we'll have a live show of it, so join us here live, noon Eastern, starting at, noon Eastern at twitch.tv/ShakesByFans. But Miami's starting offer for Kyle Lowry included Goran Dragic, Kelly Olynyk, and Kendrick Nunn. Why would you send Goran Dragic away? You need him on your team. You need Jimmy Butler Butler and Goran Dragic on this team. Everybody else, it doesn't really matter. Kendrick Nunn is definitely nice to have on your team. He's kind of the third most consistent player on that team. But you got to get rid of Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. Those are your trade pieces. That's not your core. Your core is Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic. I would kind of put Kendrick Nunn in there, but if you can trade him and get an equally good piece, I would have no problem with that. But including Goran Dragic in a trade deal is just it isn't going to work, and it's not going to work out in the Heat's favor. So we see it time and time again. When was the last time they won a game without Jimmy Butler or Goran Dragic on the floor? Like, they lose all those games. They just lost last night with no Goran Dragic. So what are we doing here? Kyle Lowry's good, but I don't think he's going to be able to make up for all these points lost of Goran Dragic and Kendrick Nunn. I mean, on any given game, I mean, when they're both playing, they're going to put up at least 30 plus points combined between the two of them. And Kyle Lowry, that's not his game. He's not a pure scoring point guard. He's more of a floor facilitator out there. So I'm seeing all these trade scenarios. I'm seeing Heat fans wanting to trade Goran Dragic. And I'm just like, what are y'all doing? You need him to win consistently. You cannot get rid of him. You can get rid of Kelly Olynyk. That's fine. You can get rid of Duncan Robinson. You can get rid of Tyler Hero. You could even possibly get rid of Kendrick Nunn. I'm not too sold on Kendrick Nunn. He is very good, but I think, he is a tradable piece compared to their kind of core of Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Goran Dragic. So I think this is an absolutely bad move. We'll see if this is even real, if this is a rumor, whatever it is. We got about a day, just about 24 hours until the trade deadline. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not getting it, man. Alrighty, and maybe a little bit of hope here. Maybe we have a little bit of hope here. So here we go. Lamelo Ball has had successful surgery on his wrist and will be reevaluated in 4 weeks, leaving a possibility for a return this season. Now, I mean, they just won their first game without him, so if they can kind of keep on that pace, they are playing in the East, so they kind of have a little bit more wiggle room there because the East is a little bit weaker than the West currently right now. So the Hornets are currently at the 5th seed in the East at 21 wins and 21 losses. As we just said, the 7 through 10 have that play-in tournament. So, I mean, the Pacers are at 19 wins at number 10, and the Raptors are at 17 wins at number 11. So the Heat, like we said, they have a little bit of wiggle room. Obviously, can't lose too many games. 4-game separation between 5 and that 11th seed. So in the playoffs and out of the playoffs, kind of decided by 5 games. So the Hornets have a little bit of wiggle room here. If they can kind of survive these 4 weeks with kind of going, 500, maybe a game below 500, that's fine. But try to get in that kind of playoff contention till Lamelo Ball could possibly return and then kind of make that nice little kind of closing stretch to kind of shore up your seeding here. But, I mean, they've got some nice pieces. Terry Rozier was getting it done. They still got, Cody Zeller and PJ Washington and Gordon Hayward, all those good pieces. So we'll see if they're able to kind of make up the slack of what Lamelo Ball is currently out with. So we'll see. But, yeah, I mean, obviously I want to see LaMelo back. I want to see him get Rookie of the Year, and with him being out for 4 weeks, possibly the entire season, that's definitely going to hurt it. But if he can get into the playoffs and maybe show out and maybe upset, a Bucks team, I'm all about it. So we'll see what happens here. We'll have to wait 4 weeks, but, hey, silver lining, small bit of light of hope that we can kind of believe in, because LaMelo Ball, man, he truly impressed us. We voted the man an all-star. I don't want to see this man out injured. Come on. Alrighty, and then the last story. Here we go. This doesn't surprise me, but according to Windhorse from ESPN, Andre Drummond was in LA right now, but this is yesterday at noon Eastern. So we know the trade deadline's coming. We know Cleveland is very adamant about trading Andre Drummond. We know he's going to go somewhere. We just don't know quite where yet. The Cavs were resting him. They were benching him. He was starting every single game. Then Jared Allen got there, and they're like, all right, we don't need both of y'all. We're going to keep Jared Allen, Andre Drummond. We're going to trade you away, and that's why he hasn't been playing in the last, 2 months. I mean, they've been shopping this man for about a month, maybe even 2 months. But so he's in LA right now. Now we don't know if it's the Lakers or the Clippers, but kind of given what's going on with the Lakers, I'm assuming it's them. No Anthony Davis. They're kind of looking for another person. They're really not big on Marc Gasol. They still want Montrezl Harrell off the bench, so they really kind of are looking for an Andre Drummond type player. And that was even before LeBron got injured. So now they're kind of desperate to get Andre Drummond. So I would definitely expect Andre Drummond to be traded to the Lakers. I think that's kind of the sure destination that's going to happen. We just have to see it kind of get announced officially. Don't know what the Lakers are going to give up. Probably Marc Gasol. They have to kind of trade that big man for big man straight up. Possibly KCP, Alex Caruso, Taylor Horton Tucker. I think all those are also kind of available trade pieces for the Lakers as well. I really don't want to see them trading Montrezl Harrell straight up for Andre Drummond. I don't really think that's you gain anything by that. I definitely want Andre Drummond or Montrezl Harrell still on that Lakers team. Definitely coming off the bench. He's exceeding expectations truly every single game. So we'll see where he goes. But the trade deadline is about 27 hours away. So buckle up because it's going to get bumpy because no trades have been going on thus far. I'll quickly kind of refresh the timeline, see if anything broke in the first half hour of our show here. Reporting with Woj here. Members of Los Angeles Lakers expected to get COVID-19. Oh, okay. That's COVID-19 vaccinations. All right. That's not what we're looking for. I thought we got something. But it does not look like anything quite yet. And then everybody's shopping Lonzo Ball. What is going on with that? I'm not sold on Lonzo Ball either. Everybody's loving this man, and everybody wants to trade for Lonzo Ball, but I'm like, what does he bring to your team? I mean, he was out for the last 2 games for the Pelicans, and they won both those games. The first game was against the Nuggets, and they won it, and then the second game was against the Lakers last night, where, with no LeBron and AD, they should be expected to win that game. But let's just go to Lonzo Ball really quickly. I mean, what is this man putting up? He's putting up 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. All right, that's good, but this isn't like greatness that we're looking. This isn't like we need to go out and trade for. He's not even making it work with the Pelicans, and they got Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, and they still got Steven Adams as a big, so they don't even need him to be the scorer. They just need to be him. They just need to have Lonzo be the facilitator, but he's still not doing that. They're not even in the playoff discussion, and everybody's clamoring over Lonzo Ball. I truly do not get it. I don't think he's that good. He played with LeBron and still is not taking anything he learned from those years with LeBron to here with the Pelicans, because they're currently the 11th seed in the West with 19 wins. I mean, what is so great about this man that everybody wants him on the team? I'm seeing everybody trying to trade for him and just kind of, fake trade scenarios on Twitter. I see Skip Bayless, advocating for this man. We see Magic Johnson saying that he's like the most intellectual point guard or cerebral point guard on the court or something like that. But I'm just like, he's not making other players better in this team currently that is kind of loaded. Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson. Zion's putting up 22 points a game in his second season, still getting it done on great efficiency nonetheless. So I'm really not understanding the hype around Lonzo Ball. They just put up how many points they put up last night? 128. It was real good. It was kind of real good. 128 points they put up last night without Lonzo Ball leading at the point guard position. So I just want to quickly go over how many times the Pelicans have put up more than 128 points scoring, and if Lonzo Ball was playing in that game, because I'm not getting all the hype around this man. I don't think he's that great. I think he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good. His passing ability is good, but there's better players out there. There's more consistent players out there. So let's just see what they've done here this far this season. We'll just go through, their schedule, looking for more than 128-point games, because if the Pelicans are playing their best basketball with Lonzo Ball and everybody wants to trade for him, I'm not getting it. So here we go. We'll just read these results. 113, 98, 86, 113, 120, 116, 110, 110, 106, 95, 128. So the same amount. We'll count it. Now, did he play this game? Let's quickly look at that. Let's see if he even played in this game before we can officially count it. Box score. He did not play. He did not play this game. Look at this. Look at this. Another 128-point game that he has not played in. So we can't even count that one. The one that we thought so far, we can't even count that. So there's the 128. Can't count that one. Then we're back to 102, 118, 110, 124, 131. Did he play this game? He did already. So we can count the one, and it was against the Bucks. So I will give him that one. Good performance, finally. Alrighty, then we're back to 112, 109, 123, 114, 118, 130. Did he play this game? Plus, it was against the Rockets, which we know is not a good team at all. But let's see if he played in this game here. He did. Alrighty. So 2 games so far of scoring more than 128 points. Alrighty. Then we're back to 116, 130 in a loss, and he played already. Even though a loss, we'll still count it. 112, 144. Did he play in this game? Against Memphis? He did already. We're at 4 games right now. Then we're back to 124, 114, 120, 128. Here we go against the Pistons. Let's see if he played in this one. He did already. We're at 5 games of 128 plus points. Win or just points. Not counting wins. All right, then we're back to 125, 114, 129. Alrighty, we're at 6. He played this game. Then we're back to 124, 93, 105, 115, 135. He did play this game as well, so that's 7. 124, 103, 108, and then just last night, 128. So overall, Lonzo Ball has played in 7 games where they score more than 128 points, but, just 2 games of him out these last 2 games, they already got 1. So I'm not truly sold on this man. I don't think he makes the team any better or any worse currently. Eric Bledsoe's probably the worst player on this Pelicans team, unfortunately, and not Lonzo. But, I'm really not just getting the hype around this man, truly. I don't think he's anything special. I don't think he elevates the team. I don't think he really hurts the team that he's on, and I don't get why everybody wants him so much. He's not working with the Pelicans, so you think he can come and improve your team? They got Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Steven Adams, Jackson Hayes coming off the bench, who's a little bit emerging, but we are big on him. Who's their good bench player? Kind of blanking on his name, so let's go to this really quickly. They got Josh Hart. I mean, there's other good players besides Lonzo Ball, and I'm not really getting it. That's all I have to say about it. If he gets traded, I'll be surprised. I really don't. I would not understand a trade, really, from either perspective, from the Pelicans' perspective or from just an outside team's perspective of why you would want this man. He's the one that's going to kind of shore up your entire team. I'm not buying it. Alrighty, those are all the stories we needed to cover for today. Now let's quickly head over to the NCAA for our March Madness coverage. I do want to update the brackets and kind of see where we're at because we didn't get to do that yesterday on the show to talk about the Monday's game. So here we go. In our March Madness tournament, we are still currently in second place, but we did make up a lot of ground. We have 30 points in total. Go Rutgers, who's in first place, is in first place with 33 points, so we are 3 points out from first place. And then in last place here, HGMF 6, who's in last place, third place with 28 points. So he's out 2 points from second and 5 points from first. Now, when we go to points remaining, we have the most potential possible points remaining with 96, and Go Rutgers only has 76, so that's a 20-point difference, and we only need to make up 3, and even HGMF has a chance to kind of get it up here as well because he's got 80 points remaining compared to 76 of Go Rutgers and 96 of ours, so we're looking kind of like the best right now. We just have to close out good, so let's see how we did yesterday because our West bracket is looking real strong. Kind of our East, too. Like we said, we didn't do good on the South and the Midwest, but the West and the East, we kind of got that down. So here we go. We had the Gonzaga-Oklahoma matchup, and we called the winner correctly with Gonzaga. So congratulations to us. Alrighty, then the 5 and 13 seed Creighton versus Ohio. We had UCSB winning that game. Unfortunately, they lost first round, so we can't get the points there. Alrighty, then we called the USC-Kansas matchup correctly, and then we also picked the winner correctly, the upset of the 6 seed USC getting on and moving forward. So we got that win as well. And then we called Oregon State and Iowa. We thought Iowa was going to win, but Oregon pulls the upset, so they will face USC. Now, unfortunately, We did have Iowa getting to the Elite Eight, but unfortunately, we cannot get any more points out of that because Iowa is not going to be facing USC. So we got to count on Gonzaga coming out of the West, which is a lot. Basically, everybody's counting on. Alrighty, and then in the East, Michigan versus LSU. Unfortunately, we called the matchup Michigan versus St. Bonaventure. But Michigan won regardless, so we got that correctly. And now we've got Michigan going all the way to the Elite Eight, so that's still in play. Then we called the matchup of Colorado and FSU correctly, and then we also called the winner of that game correctly with FSU beating Colorado. So Michigan FSU matchup there in the Sweet 16, we called that correctly. Alrighty, and then the ACU versus UCLA matchup, 14 versus 11 seed. We had BYU coming out of the Elite Eight here or just kind of out of the Final Four in the East here. Unfortunately, they don't make it, so we can't get any more points of that. And then Bama and Maryland couldn't get that right either because we had UConn beating Maryland the first round. We also had UConn going to the Sweet 16 and not Bama. So we can't get any more points out of that, but so far, we're looking kind of good here. And like we said, we do have a lot of points, total points remaining. There are still 96 points for us to go out and get. So hopefully we can go out and get some of those points because we are going to need some, a lot actually. Not too much, 3 points out, not bad. Alrighty, let's check the first place bracket currently. Let's see what he did here in the West. Gonzaga, Oklahoma. He's got Gonzaga moving on. He called that correctly. He had UCSB also getting to the Sweet 16, so he can't get any more points out of that. He called the Oregon-Iowa game correctly, but not the winner. So the only team left he has correctly in the West is Gonzaga, and he's got them winning. So same thing with us. All right, and then the East, he called Michigan-LSU matchup correctly, but he picked the wrong winner. He was going with the upset. He got a little greedy there, went with another upset of LSU beating Michigan, but that is not the case, so we can't make up any more points on that. But then he called FSU versus Colorado correctly with FSU. So FSU and Michigan, and he does have FSU beating kind of LSU, who he thought was going to beat Michigan. So that's interesting. We definitely need FSU to lose now, unfortunately, to kind of help us out a little bit more. So we can make up some points there. He can't make up any more points there in the kind of bottom half of the East region. He did call UCLA over ACU, but UCLA, he called Texas with the win. So he does not have any more points there. And then he called Alabama beating Maryland, which they did, but unfortunately he had Texas beating Alabama in the Sweet 16, but obviously Texas is no longer in the tournament. So, alrighty, beefed up a little bit here, but his Final Four is not looking good. He had Texas in the Final Four, Illinois in the Final Four. Now he still has Gonzaga and Baylor like us, so that's a little interesting. And now let's just quickly peek at the third place bracket. His Final Four is not doing too hot either. He's got Gonzaga and Bama, the last two in the Final Four. He also called Florida and Illinois, who's no longer there. So we'll see how he's going to be able to do. He did call FSU and Bama correctly there in the Elite Eight. Are we at the Elite Eight? Or potentially. So we'll see what happens here. He's got FSU beating Michigan and Bama beating UCLA. So we'll see if those two teams are able to take it. If they do, he's got a good chance of kind of pulling a little bit of an upset here at the back half of the tournament. But yeah, we made up some ground on Monday, so thank goodness for that. And hey, we are in the position to go out and win the tournament. We are in the position. A lot of points still left, only 3 points out. Our Final Four is not looking too great either. We've only got Gonzaga and Baylor in the Final Four. BYU and Illinois obviously getting eliminated. So we'll see what happens on Saturday when March Madness resumes and see who gets points and who doesn't and who's going to be the new first leader. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. Alrighty, let's head over to the NBA to see what happened yesterday in the NBA. We'll quickly go over the stats a little bit. We might look at this. Should we go game by game? Yeah, let's. Yeah, Yeah, let's go game by game. Let's see how that shakes up. So we'll just start here with the Nuggets and the Magic. Nuggets easily winning here by an 11-point win. I mean, the Magic, Aaron Gordon wants out. He's still in the starting lineup, which is a little surprising. So it doesn't look like they want to kind of trade him. If they were looking to trade you, they probably wouldn't be playing you right up until the trade deadline, risking an injury, risking that trade asset. So I doubt Aaron Gordon goes anywhere at the trade deadline, but we'll see. And he just doesn't work with Vucevic. I mean, we've kind of seen that. Both those players can't have good games on a nightly basis, so you're kind of trading, a star's ability and their points for really nothing. So let's go here with the Nuggets. We'll start here. Jamal Murray, 21 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Jokic, 28 points, 10 assists, 15 rebounds. Classic Jokic game on 64% shooting. Michael Porter Jr., 18 points, 7 rebounds on 57% shooting. Very well done. Good defense as well with a +7. Alrighty, and then off the bench, anybody doing good out here? PJ Dozier, yes sir, 14 points and 6 rebounds off the bench. That's what we like to see. So Denver, everybody getting it done. For the Magic now, Evan Fournier with the team high 31 points and 6 assists. Very well done. Unfortunately, Vucevic had a little bit of a lackluster night, 18.7 rebounds. Aaron Gordon had a little bit of a lackluster night, 13 points, 6 assists. And that's why they lose the game, because they don't have a lot of scores on that team. So Nuggets get the win, 110-99 over the Magic. Not really surprising to us. All right, this one is a little surprising here. The Wizards and the Knicks were just on all night last night, putting up a big 131 points in Washington. We know they don't have the scoring power for that. I mean, for the Wizards to put up 131 points, Bradley Beal would have to go for 60, and Russell Westbrook would also have to go for 60. So, and we know that's pretty unrealistic. So let's start here with the Knicks here. Let's see how their starters and all bench were doing. Still no Derrick Rose out here. A little unfortunate. He got into the starting position for like 2 games, and then he's been injured ever since then. So we'd like to see this man back, but they're winning without him. Pretty good here. Elfrid Payton, 7 points. RJ Barrett, 21 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Nerlens Noel, 6 points, 5 rebounds. Julius Randle, holy moly, 37 points, 6 rebounds. Reggie Bullock, 10 points, and they got some great contributions off the bench. Alec Burks, 20 points. Mitchell Robinson, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 7 of those offensive. And then Emmanuel quickly still getting it done here off the bench, 14 points. We saw him kind of get the starting rotation a little bit, but they move him right back down to the bench. So just everybody was on here for this Knicks team, and that's what we're talking about, folks. That's what this Knicks team is. Starters and bench players all playing very well on a nightly basis. That's why they win the games, and that's why they also lose the games if nobody really steps up, or not everybody steps up. Alrighty, let's go to the Wizards now. Alrighty, Russell Westbrook, 14 points, 12 assists, 4 rebounds. Did not shoot well at all, 21% from the field. He only had four turnovers, but, the rebounds and assists and points were all a little light on what he's kind of doing consistently here. So, still not great. Bradley Beal, 22 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Nothing else great from the starters. Alex Len, 5 points. Garrison Matthew, 5 points. Rui Hachimura, 11 points on 38% shooting. Off the bench, what do we got here? David Avdija, 14 points. Moritz Wagner, 11 points. We see Davis Burton's not playing. That kind of, tells us why they lose as well. So just nothing great, nothing consistent for this Wizards team. Frustrating. We'll see if Bradley Beal goes anywhere right before the trade deadline. He's a great scorer, don't get me wrong, and he could definitely make any team better. Just not really sure if the Wizards are wanting to let him go. That's really all they have is Bradley Beal. And if you have Russell Westbrook trying to be the main leader on your team, good luck with that, because that's not going to work. So we'll see what the Wizards do at the trade deadline. I don't think they do anything. They can't do anything to save their season, but we'll see if they build for the future by trading away Bradley Beal or something. Alrighty, then we go to the Lakers and the Pelicans now, and once again, the Lakers are non-competitive because no LeBron and Anthony Davis. For this stretch of Anthony Davis and LeBron James being out, take these points of whoever, or swallow the points with whoever they're facing. You will hit every single time. So that's what we'll be looking for in value-wise, for the next probably 2-3 weeks, while LeBron James is still out and Anthony Davis is still out, because this team is so trash without both of those players, or even one of those players. So here we go. Pelicans, no Lonzo Ball. They get the job done. They win the game. No problem. Everybody plays great. Brandon Ingram, 36 points on 66% shooting. Zion Williamson, 27 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds on 69% shooting. Steven Adams, 12 points, 7 rebounds. Eric Bledsoe is still trash out here. 2 points on 12% shooting. I mean, this man's really got to get it together. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker fills in for Lonzo Ball. And look at this stat line. 18 points, 3 assists, 7 rebounds on 50% shooting, and 3 of 9 from 3. Is that any different than what Lonzo Ball brings to this team? No, man. Lonzo, what is it with Lonzo Ball? Why does everybody want him on your team? I would not want him on my team. I don't think he brings anything more than just kind of decent points, solid rebounds, solid assists. He doesn't really bring anything. We just said he averages 14, 4, and 5. We just get Nickeil Alexander-Walker first game in the starting guard position, 18, 3, and 7. Come on. Or 18 and 7 and 3 to kind of line it up how we just said it. But, man, oh man, I'm not really seeing it. I'm not getting it. I don't get it. Alrighty, then off the bench, Jackson Hayes. I love that this man's playing. He played 20 minutes. Love it. 15 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds on 66% shooting, plus 13 in the plus minus. Let's get it. Kiara Lewis Jr., 16 points, 6 assists off the bench as well. I think this team is better without Lonzo Ball than they are with him. So if the Pelicans want to trade Lonzo Ball, I think that's actually good for the Pelicans. Get rid of him. He's bogging down your team. Everybody else is good. Just Lonzo can't be the facilitator. Yes, he's a great passer, but he's not a great decision maker. Look at what James Harden is doing, man. 17 assists a game, no problem. Winning without all their key pieces of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Come on. Oh, man. Everybody wants to talk about Lonzo and not give any credit to James Harden. I'm just stunned out here. I'm just befuddled. Just watching it all unfold. Trying to talk it into existence here with James Harden being the MVP and all that, and my voice goes unheard a little bit. Alrighty, let's go to the Lakers now. Let's see who steps up because it's nobody. So here we go. Dennis Schroeder, 15 points on 20% shooting, not stepping up. KCP, 3 points on 14% shooting, not stepping up. Devontae Cook gets the starting center position and not Montrezl Harrell. I get you want him to run with your second lineup. I get that, but still, elevate this man to the starting lineup. Try to work in the first 4 minutes of the game. So Devontae Cook at the starting 5, 4 points, 2 rebounds in only 13 minutes. Markieff Morris, 16 points, 5 rebounds. Kyle Kuzma, 16 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty decent. But, I mean, somebody's got to be the main scorer. Somebody's got to put up the 25-plus that LeBron brings every single night, and nobody did that. Montrezl Harrell off the bench is the leading scorer. Montrezl Harrell is the leading scorer of this Lakers team. Can we give this man 6th man of the year already? I'm over it. Montrezl Harrell, 6th man of the year, undoubtedly. Here we go. 18 points, 6 rebounds. Best player on this team without LeBron and Anthony Davis. And nobody else still steps it up. So Wesley Matthews off the bench, 14 points. I'll give it to him. Alex Caruso, 10 points off the bench. I guess I'll give it to him. But, I mean, these starters right here, man, not great. Man, not great. So Lakers lose, no surprise, 128-111 to the Pelicans. Alrighty, let's go to the Suns and the Heat now. Obviously, as we said, no Goran Dragic for the Heat, so I really cannot expect them to win a game. Jimmy Butler, 14 points, 11 rebounds on 53% shooting. Bam Adebayo, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Pretty good night by him. Duncan Robinson, 6 points. Once again, that's your trade piece. Get rid of Duncan Robinson, man. He does not do well. 2 of 5 from 3. It's not a bad night, but we need this man to put up more points than 6, man. Kendrick Nunn, he's very good. And if he stays with the Heat, I think that's the best case scenario. If you have to trade him, I mean, this is a good piece to trade. He can bring the points to the team. That's what he does. So 25 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds for Kendrick Nunn on 52% shooting, 5 of 9 from 3. That's what we're talking about here. Kendrick Nunn plays well. But nobody else does. Duncan Robinson, 6 points. Tyler Hero off the bench, 7 points on 27% shooting. This man is not consistent at all. That's who you get rid of. You cannot rely on Tyler Hero, man. You've started him in the starting lineup. You have him come off the bench. You play him 26 minutes off the bench. It's nothing great. So, man, oh, man, you need Goran Dragic, man. If Goran Dragic plays, you win the game. You win the game. You get consistent, efficient shooting from the man. You don't get that from anybody else besides Kendrick Nunn. So I don't know. All these trade rumors are getting me wild right now. Man, people, man, and let me run your franchise. I can get you the wins. Alrighty, let's keep going here. The Suns, another win here, and they are definitely coming for that number 1 spot in the West, folks. Still 2 games back, trying to keep up pace with the Jazz. The Jazz just haven't been losing either after this All-Star break. Same thing with the Suns. So they're waiting for the Suns are just waiting for the Jazz to slip up that 1 loss. That's all they need to try to get back into this thing for the number 1 seed. So Chris Paul, 8 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. Devin Booker, 23 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton, 17 points, 16 rebounds. Jay Crowder, 13 points. McCall Bridges, 12 points. Everybody kind of getting it done for the starting roster. And then off the bench, we get Cameron Payne with 9 points and Torrey Craig with 10 points. Love seeing Torrey Craig coming off the bench. I mean, this is a pretty good bench, man. You can expect 10-plus points from pretty much 3 or more players. Dario Saric, I can imagine 10-plus. Cameron Payne, I can imagine 10-plus. Torrey Craig, Cameron Johnson, and Jay Crowder, usually if he's coming off the bench or not, depending on what Frank Kaminsky's doing. But they are relatively deep, folks, and they've got everything. This is a complete team right here. So no surprise the Suns win 110-100. Alrighty, let's go to the 76ers and the Warriors now. No Steph Curry for the Warriors, and no Joel Embiid for the 76ers. So let's start here with the 76ers since they won the game. Really non-competitive. This game was not competitive, really. Big leads for the 76ers. And, what are the Warriors going to do? What can they do? They don't have Steph Curry for the shooting. They don't have a great big. You're not going to be able to stop anything. So, Ben Simmons, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Furkan Korkmaz, 12 points. Tony Bradley at the starting 5 in replace of Joel Embiid, 18 points, 11 rebounds. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's obviously not what Joel Embiid can do, but I mean, this is solid production from a big right here. I mean, this is basically a little better than Rudy Gobert, if I dare say so. Tobias Harris, 25 points, 13 rebounds, always steps up. Love this man so much. He should get like 5th man of the year. Give Tobias Harris 5th man of the year, honestly. Truly underrated here, and really kind of just being kind of the James Harden, if you will, just kind of tying this team together when other superstars are out. And then Danny Green, 11 points, 2 rebounds, didn't shoot a lot, 44%, 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3. So just kind of just playing his defensive role. Alrighty. Shake Milton off the bench with 13 points. Dwight Howard off the bench with 13 rebounds. I'll take it. And, they get the job done. So very well done for the 76ers, winning another game without Joel Embiid. The Warriors now, let's see who steps up. Somebody's going to have to make up those points that Steph Curry brings. So here we go. Jordan Poole subs in for Steph Curry. 19 points, 4 rebounds on 31% shooting. Definitely could be a little bit better there. Kelly Oubre Jr., 24 points, 10 rebounds on 57% shooting, 2 of 4 from 3. I'll give it to him. That's a pretty solid game by him. James Wiseman back in the starting 5 here. 11 points, 4 rebounds. He just can't really get it done either, unfortunately. Draymond Green, 6 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds on 28% shooting, 2 of 7. Alrighty, we're seeing, Draymond Green come out with quotes saying that he's the best defensive player of all time. I don't agree, but he's definitely a solid defensive piece out here. They just need other outside shooting on this team, and that's what they don't have. Or consistent, I should say. Kelly Oubre Jr. is not consistent. Andrew Wiggins is not very consistent either. I mean, he gives us 15 points a game, but that's really it. It doesn't really matter how many shots he takes. He could take 15 like he did in this game, or he could take 7. It's always going to be 15 points. We see him at 14 points this game. 14 points, 2 rebounds. Nothing spectacular. Off the bench, Damian Lee has really kind of been the one solid piece here. 16 points ever since Steph Curry went down. This man's really been getting it done. So 3 years in. Nice shooting guard here, or forward, I should say. So Damian Lee, let's keep an eye on him. They should probably elevate him a little bit more, see what he can do to try and turn this team around, because this Warriors team needs to do something, man. They need to do something quickly, falling out of kind of the playoff contention here currently at the 9th seed. So they are still in for the play-in tournament, but it can be taken away very quickly. So we'll keep an eye on and see if they do any adjustments here. They got to do something. Steph Curry's out for 3 more games. Oh, man. Tough team. Alrighty, and then the last game of the night, the Nets and the Blazers. And yes, sir, no Kyrie Irving. James Harden wins the game. Love it. James Harden is the MVP, folks. You cannot tell me that if the roles were reversed, if Kyrie Irving was healthy all these games and James Harden and Kevin Durant were basically out the entire season, that Kyrie Irving would be able to lead this Nets team to a 30-14 record, because I guarantee you he could not. We saw Kyrie Irving cannot lead a team anywhere. Anyway, he's a solid number 2. Don't get me wrong. He's a very great number 2, but he's not a number 1. James Harden is a number 1, and that's why the Nets are 30-14. This man deserves the MVP, and the fact that he's not even getting all this attention, and people are saying that he's not even in the top 5 or maybe even 4 or 5 in that top 5, it's a little disrespectful, man. This man, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 17 assists, facilitating the floor, getting those other outside shooters involved without. That's not Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. This man is still making it work, and he can put up the points when he needs to. He's always consistent with the points and the assists, man. He's the only player that's averaging double-digit assists, and we have to respect that. But nobody wants to give this man his credit. I mean, everybody just looks at the Nets like a powerhouse team, folks. Kevin Durant's only played like one game, and Kyrie Irving is kind of a little spotty. He takes long stretches out and claims personal reasons every time. James Harden is here. He's like, I thought I was getting some help here. I guess I got to do it all myself. And the man gets zero respect on this team, man. I see everybody responds to my videos when I have like the Nets like as the number 1 seed in our power rankings. All I see is, oh, the Nets aren't deep. The Nets are deep. The Nets are deep. They can't win. They're not deep. Besides the big 3, who do they have? And then you don't give respects to James Harden with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving out. What are y'all saying, man? Y'all got me jazzed up. James Harden is the MVP currently, right now. Joel Embiid has been missing 6 games. We got to move him out. Damian Lillard, they just lost head-to-head to James Harden, so I got to elevate James Harden, even though we've got James Harden ahead of Damian Lillard in our our MVP power rankings. Man, oh man, give James Harden his credit. He just had 17 assists. 17. Come on. Man, the Blazers had 25 total assists this game, and James Harden has 17. The man gets it done. Winning games. That's what MVP does. Win you games single-handedly when everybody else is out. That's why LeBron should be MVP every single season. Do you see what they're doing right now? Without LeBron James, there is 0% chance that they win a game without him. That's why he should be MVP every single season. But we know the NBA doesn't like to give it to the same player over and over and over again, because LeBron James should have 12 straight. And then y'all want to give it to Jokic as the front runner, and I get what you're saying with Jokic, but I mean, he's got Jamal Murray, who's always clutch, and he's still got Michael Porter Jr. and James Harden is working with kind of 3rd, 4th stringers here, tier 3 players, tier 4 players without Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Man, I give it to James Harden. Not sorry at all. Give me the award. I will present the award. James Harden, congratulations, you're MVP this season. I'm over it. I'm done with it. I'm done with the conversation at this point. Call the season already. All right, so let's get into this. James Harden, did we mention this? 25 points, 17 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, only 4 turnovers on 17 assists. If Russell Westbrook wants 17 assists, the man is having 8 turnovers. Alrighty. The one thing James Harden didn't do well was shoot well. Alrighty, but they still win, so I don't care. 29% overall, 0 of 7 from 3. Very not good, but it's still a win, and I'm taking wins. Give me the wins. Alrighty, here we go. Continuing on, no Kyrie Irving, obviously. So Bruce Brown drops to the number 2 here, 8 points, 4 rebounds. DeAndre Jordan, 3 points, 10 rebounds. Jeff Green, 20 points, 4 assists. Joe Harris, 17, mother 11 points, baby, I love it. 3 of 6 from 3, 6 of 12 overall from the field. Joe Harris, man, also put this man up for 5th man of the year. Joe Harris, jeez, him and Tobias Harris, so freaking consistent. Danny Green has a lot to learn from these two. All right, then off the bench, what do we get? Timothy Lolley Cabaret, 11 points. Blake Griffin, 8 points, 5 rebounds, looking pretty decent out there. Nicholas Claxton, he's really emerging here, folks. Love it. He's getting more minutes. He's looking good. 21 minutes off the bench, 16 points, 9 rebounds. Man, oh man, love watching this man play. I mean, this Nets team is deep, folks. I mean, it's truly deep. I don't know what people say when they say they're not deep. I don't know what they're even talking about. If you put Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving into this lineup, that means Joe Harris and Bruce Brown come off the bench. That makes it even deeper. You still got TLC. You still got Blake Griffin, you still got Nicholas Claxton. I mean, what are we talking about here? You still got Landry Shamet. You still got Chris Chiazza, who did good in the bubble, but he hasn't been getting really any playing time this season because they're so deep. They have to put people on reserve. So, I don't know, man. I'm just going to say, we're going to leave it here. I don't know, man. I don't know what some of y'all are saying out there. Alrighty. And we also have this little highlight here. We can watch it very quickly. Currently, Blazers down 3 to the Nets with 39 seconds left. And Damian Lillard passes the ball here for a 3-point attempt. If I'm Damian Lillard, I'm taking that contested 3 because he hands it off. He gives it to, who is this? Gary Trent Jr.? Who is this? Robert Covington. He takes a 3 and then misses. I only trust Damian Lillard in the clutch, so... unfortunately, tries to be a little unselfish, passes out of a double team, but I would have taken that if I was D. Lillard. Man, it's the only person I trust on that Blazers team. Alrighty, that was the NBA from last night. Let's see what we got going on today in the NBA. Primetime games, nationally televised games, yes, sir. Now that March Madness is kind of during its break period. Yeah, now that's kind of on its break period till Saturday, we can expect some nice NBA on television. So that's always great, right? Alrighty, so here we go. Wednesday, we're looking at Pistons, Pacers, Nuggets, Raptors, Celtics, Bucks on ESPN. This is going to be a good one, folks. Let's see if the Bucks can continue on. And they're like a 7-game winning streak. And I don't know if you guys remember. We said this about maybe 2 weeks ago that when the Bucks were on another streak. That we really couldn't see them getting past like a 5 to 7 game win streak, that we thought they would kind of max out at 7 games, and I believe they're at 7 games right now. So let's see. Yeah, currently a 7-game winning streak. So this is gonna make or break it. Are we right about the Bucks? I don't really see them getting past like a 7-game winning streak. I don't really think that's them, but they are at home against the Celtics, and they just brought in PJ Tucker. So we'll see if he's kind of able to still get it done here. Going to be a great one. Celtics, Bucks, 7:30 on ESPN. Alrighty, then we get the Suns and the Magic, Cavs and the Bulls, Rockets and the Hornets. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. If Victor Oladipo and John Wall and Christian Wood are all playing, this could be pretty good, and a decent challenge for the Hornets here to kind of get acclimated without LaMelo Ball still. All right, Mavericks, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Thunder, Clippers, Spurs, Nets, and the Jazz on ESPN, 10 o'clock. Watch the MVP ball out, folks, because Kyrie Irving is still not playing. So, and then the last game of the night, the Hawks and the Kings. All righty, let's get these lines up to date. We'll have the ins and outs. And then we'll go to our NFL draft prospect of the day, but let's get our moneymaker right. So here we go. First game up, Pistons, Pacers, Pistons +6, Pacers -6. Now we say the Pacers, they can't beat the good teams, but they can beat the bad teams pretty well. So we may swallow 6 here. Let's see who's all in and out. For the Pistons, we get Wayne Ellington, a game-time decision. Rodney McGruder is still out. Medio Diallo is out. For the Pacers, Malcolm Brogdon, game-time decision, and Miles Turner, a game-time decision. So Pacers should have no trouble here. The Pistons have been a little competitive recently. 2-2 in their last 4. They lost against the Spurs by 10. Still decently close, especially with this Pistons team. Nothing great. They beat the Raptors by 4. They beat the Rockets by 3. They lost to the Bulls by kind of 14 points there. That was kind of a big loss. So, yeah, we're going to take the Pacers here. We think they get back on track. Where are they at currently for their win streak, lose streak? 1-game losing streak, 4-6 in the last 10. They got to start making something happen. They're right at that kind of cutoff line of the play-in tournament at the number 10 seed. So we'll swallow the 6 here for the Pacers. I'm ready to believe in them a little bit here. Don't usually love swallowing, a lot of points, and 6 is still a decent amount. But at home, Pacers, they have all the ability to beat the Pistons. So they just have to perform, and we'll count on them with their one-game losing streak that they're on. So Pacers -6, we're going to take it. Alrighty, then we get the Nuggets and the Raptors. Nuggets -3, Raptors +3, Nuggets -3. What are y'all nuts? This Raptors team has really not been great. They're 1-9 in their last 10, folks. This isn't something else. Remember when they had us for a little bit? Let's see who's all good to go. Alrighty, for the Nuggets, Gary Harris is still out, but everybody's still basically good to go. Just the usual suspects out or game time decision, and everybody's good to go for the Raptors. So we only have to swallow 3 here with the Nuggets? Yes. This Raptors team has not been on course at all this late. Ever since the All-Star break, they really just lost it. Now, some of that was because of Fred VanVleet and Siakam and OG Anunoby all getting the COVID, so I do get that, but they just lost to the Rockets. I mean, yikes. They lose to the Cavs. They lost to the Jazz. They lost to the Pistons, the Bulls, the Hornets, the Hawks, the Celtics, the Pistons. I mean, not great here. So we'll trust the Nuggets here. Looking real good. Everybody getting it done. Nuggets -3. We like it. Alrighty, Celtics and the Bucks, and Celtics +6, Bucks -6. Alrighty, Celtics +6 is looking a little scrumptious. Let's see who's all good to go. Tristan Thompson is still out for the Celtics. For the Bucks, PJ Tucker's a game time decision. That'll be interesting to see if he goes. Brian Forbes is a game time decision. Giannis is a game time decision. I'm assuming all those players are going to play nationally televised game at home against, an Eastern Conference potential, Eastern Conference Finals matchup. Depending on where the Celtics land, because we know the Bucks are going to definitely finish top 3 here. Damn, they've fallen out of the top 3 or the top 2. Yeah, that's right. Alrighty. Man, so maybe potential first round matchup 6-3, that could happen. Celtics only a game out of that 6th seed, so yeah, potential first round matchup. I expect everybody to play. I'm like the Bucks here. We're gonna stay away from it just because of all those game time decisions. And definitely if PJ Tucker doesn't play, that's kind of a little bit of a big one that I'm kind of banking on if I chose the Bucks -6. But we'll see what happens. We'll watch it and learn from it, but we won't take it here. Alrighty, Mavericks and the Timberwolves. Mavericks -8, Timberwolves +8. Now, this Mavericks team has been looking very good recently, kind of fighting their way back up into playoff contention. Timberwolves have been kind of keeping it close a little bit here, so I think we're going to stay away from this one. A little bit too much to swallow. For the Mavericks, Willie Cauley-Stein is out, and Tyrell Terry is out. For the Timberwolves, D'Angelo Russell is still out, and Jordan McLaughlin is a game-time decision, and Malik Beasley is out. So, yeah, just a little bit kind of too big here of a spread for us to swallow, especially with the Mavericks on the road. If they were at home, maybe you swallow the 8, but we already got 2 other good teams here in our moneymaker, so we will pass on the Mavericks and Timberwolves. Not great value. Alrighty, Cavs and the Bulls, and the Cavs might get us again, folks. They might rope us in again here. Cavs +6, Bulls -6. Alrighty, let's see who's the ins and outs first. For the Cavs, Kevin Love is out, which is good. We do not want him in that starting lineup, but he kind of ruins the offense a little bit. And then everybody else is kind of the usual suspects there. Matthew Dellavedova is out. Andre Drummond's obviously out. And then for the Bulls, just Garrett Temple is a game-time decision. So I think we're going to go wild here and choose the points here with the Cavs, and it may bite us in the butt here, but just the Cavs, I mean, Darius Garland, Colin Sexton looking real good. They did have a not great game last performance where they put up 25, 30 points combined, which they kind of have to put up 50 points combined, 25-plus points each. But this Bulls team, we can't really count on them either. That's kind of why we're liking the +6 there with the Cavs. Kind of 2 little basically equal teams here. Both 4 and 6 in their last 10. Nothing very great. The Cavs have beaten the Celtics by 7 just kind of in the past 4 or 5 games. They've beaten the Celtics and the Raptors, lost to the Heat, the Spurs, and the Kings. We did take the points with the Cavs. I think we're getting +3 or 6 there with the Kings, and they still lost. That wasn't great. And then the Bulls in their kind of last 4 or 5 games, they beat the Raptors, they beat the Thunder, lost to the Spurs by 7, the Nuggets by 4. They just beat the Pistons. They lost to the Jazz by 25. So the Bulls are kind of all over the place. Same thing with the Cavs. All right, we're going to have to not take this one. I'm going to talk myself out of this and not take the Cavs +6. I want to see them be way more consistent first. I mean, they've kind of been wonky, 80-point games, 115-point games, back down to 80. So got to see them play a little bit more consistently. So we will skip the Cavs +6, I think. We'll come back to it if there's no other great value and bump it up to a 3-teamer, but I mean, we still got like 6 games to go, so let's see what we get first. Alrighty, Suns, Magic, Suns -9.5, Magic +9.5 here. Probably going to stay away from this one just because of kind of how big the spread is, and plus the Suns are on a back-to-back. For the Suns, Abdel Nader is a game-time decision, and for the Magic, Terrence Ross, game-time decision. And Chase and Randall, game-time decision. Everybody else, usual suspects, still out. Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac. So, I mean, Aaron Gordon's not good, and we know he kind of wants out, so we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, just a little bit too much for us to swallow. Not really great value, so let's move on. Then we get the Hornets and the Rockets. Hornets -3.5, Rockets +3.5. Now, the Rockets for the last game, Christian Wood, everybody good to go. So we'll see what happens here for their ins and out. Cody Zeller's a game-time decision, so that could be good. They're definitely going to need him against Christian Wood out there. And then for the Rockets, Eric Gordon is out, David Waba is out, and Kevin Porter is a game-time decision. So John Wall, Victor Oladipo, Christian Wood all should still be playing in this game. And I think we're going to take the +3.5 here for the Rockets. Now, this Hornets team, they did win their first game without Lamelo Ball. Absolutely great. Now, how much and how long are they going to be able to kind of ride that momentum for? Really can't tell. They just beat the Spurs by 3, very close margin. And this Rockets team, I mean, they just came off of a win. Like we just said, they had John Wall and Christian Wood. I mean, that's kind of what they need. Now, they're not going to be deep, but they just win and beat the Raptors by 18 points. That was pretty solid. So I think the Rockets and Hornets, they kind of are close. They'll keep it close. It will be a close game, so we'll take the 3.5 here for the Rockets. I don't know if we can trust this Hornets team without LaMelo Ball. We'll see who's going to be able to kind of facilitate the floor consistently. Yes, you win the first game without him, but how much can you keep it up for? So we'll take the 3.5 here for the Rockets. Alrighty, Grizzlies and Thunder. Grizzlies -5, Thunder +5. Probably will stay away from this one. I can't really get a firm grip on what this kind of Thunder team is. Very spotty. Same thing with the Grizzlies. I mean, they've got a better team overall than the Thunder do, but they don't play like an overall better team than the Thunder are. So, gonna stay away from this one. Not really any great value here. For the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson's out. For the Thunder, George Hill's out. Darius Baisley's out. Josh Hall's a game-time decision. So, I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it all depends on if he has a good game or not. So, we'll stay away from it. See who gets back on track here, Grizzlies or the Thunder. Alrighty, then we get the Clippers and the Spurs. Clippers -6, Spurs +6. See if everybody's good to go for both these teams. For the Clippers, Patrick Beverley is still out. Serge Ibaka is also out for the Clippers. And for the Spurs, Rudy Gay is out. And Lonnie Walker is also out, so they're going to be a little lackluster in the scoring department without those two players. Serge Ibaka's pretty much the biggest kind of red flag for me of choosing the Clippers -6. They should have no trouble there beating the Spurs, but we can never trust the Clippers, especially on the road. I don't want to push our moneymaker by kind of losing on the Clippers. I don't want to lose on this Clippers team because I don't trust them too much. So let's skip it. We'll stay away from Clippers Spurs. Hawks Kings. Hawks -3, Kings +3. Alrighty. I mean, this Kings team, whoever they play against, I mean, they always put up the points. So getting points with them, it definitely seems something like, that's good value there. For the Hawks, Danilo Gallinari is a game-time decision. Cam Reddish and Chris Dunn are still out. For the Kings, Marvin Bagley is out. So usual suspect there. Definitely interesting. The Hawks just let us down. We bet on them when they faced the Clippers, but they lost by 9. A little bit of a bigger loss than we kind of wanted for that Hawks team. So we're going to stay away from betting the Hawks here. And the Kings, I mean, we can't trust them either. So we stay away from this game. And then the last game of the night, Nets, Jazz, and oh my goodness. Brooklyn Nets +10, Jazz -10. Now, I know Kyrie Irving's not playing, but if the only reason the Nets are +10 is because of Kyrie Irving not playing, Did y'all not just hear our 25-minute rant on James Harden should be the MVP? Come on now, come on. Here we go. Let's hope that James Harden's playing. Here we go. For the Nets, Kevin Durant is out, Kyrie Irving's out, and everybody else is good to go. Landry Shaman's still out, but he was out last night. I don't care. For the Jazz, everybody's good to go. This Jazz team, they've proven that they're not invincible, folks. They're 5-5 in their last 10, and really ever since the All-Star break, and this one just disappeared on us. What just happened? They knew the value was too good. And they just took it away from us, folks. We can no longer bet, literally as we were talking, we can no longer bet the Nets in the Jazz plus 10. So something must have went down on Twitter. Let's see what happened here. Oh my goodness, we missed the value by half a second. Darn it! Ugh! What is going on here? Something must have happened. Here it is. The Nets say James Harden is questionable and Blake Griffin is out for tonight's game. That's what all right, so now that James Harden is a little questionable, expect that spread to go up even higher for the Nets, probably around 15-16 maybe, plus 15, could you imagine? And we may still even take it. So how truly unfortunate. James Harden, darn it, is questionable. And that's the only reason why we would take them plus 10, because we absolutely love James Harden. So unfortunately, we are going to have to stay away from it. Darn it. Well, I guess it's a good thing, because if we found out later that James Harden wasn't playing, I would have flipped this entire set. I would have flipped the set. Well, Bears are signing former Chiefs running back Damian Williams to a 1-year deal. That's a pretty good pickup for them. Alrighty. What else do we get here? Anything good? Oh, man. Alrighty. So, our official moneymaker today is going to be Pacers -6, Nuggets -3, Rockets plus 3.5. And that will do it. Alrighty. So, that's our moneymaker for today's action. Alrighty, let's head over to our NFL draft prospect of the day. We got a quarterback from Florida. Drum roll, please. Y'all know his name, Kyle Trask. So we'll break down the stats, look at some highlights, and see how this man's looking. Should this man be the first quarterback taken? Should this man rival Trevor Lawrence as the number 1 overall pick in Jacksonville? No, of course not. But we'll see. Maybe number 2. Maybe he's better than Mac Jones and who's the running one from Ohio State? Man, I don't know. Justin Fields. Is he better than him? Maybe. We'll see. Let's see what we get here. So here we go. Kyle Trask, quarterback from Florida. He's 6'5", 240. I mean, that's a nice, solid quarterback right there. That's what we're talking about. Already 3 years in Florida. Freshman year, only played 3 games and only had 22 passing attempts. So you really can't count this game. Or that season. So 2019, his junior year, obviously the main starter. 66% completion percentage, absolutely fantastic. For college, we want you 65 to 70% completion percentage. So he's at 66. You can round it up to 67. It's 66.9. So we will say 67. 2,941 yards. Already a little lackluster there in the yards department, but 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Yes, sir. What is that? 7, 14, 21. I mean, about a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. That's what we're looking for. Obviously, the more, the merrier. But a great kind of first year in 2019. And then in 2020, his senior season, 60. Oh, his completion percentage went up, 68.9, rounded up to 69. That's what we're talking about. So great there. 4,283 yards getting better. Touchdowns are at 43, so an increase in touchdowns and interceptions barely moved, folks. Went from 7 in 2019 to only 8 this year. So really, everything got better. Fantastic. Completion percentage, yards, touchdown to interception ratio all went up in 1 year. That is huge silver lining. That's a huge green flag if you wanted to draft Kyle Trask. But we want to see what he did in the bowl games. What were you doing in the bowl games? The games that mattered, the games that you had 3 weeks to prepare for, maybe even 4 months. You might have had a full month to prepare for that game. So there's really no excuses for you to lose in those bowl games. So let's see what Kyle Trask did in 2019 when he got to a bowl game. Alrighty, bowl game against Virginia in 2019. They get the win. Great job there. 61% completion percentage, 305 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Alrighty, not great, but he did come away with the win. And let's see kind of what happened in this win. Close win, game-winning drive. What do we got here? Oh, not game-winning drive. Kind of garbage touchdown drive there to make it look a little close to probably the official, the unofficial score of this kind of bowl game is kind of 36-21. So pretty good there by Trask. That interception, obviously not the greatest, but still did enough to get the job done, and that's what we're talking about, getting the wins. So, all right, great kind of 2019 season. Let's see if he did a little bit better in 2020. Let's see what he did here. 2020's bowl game. The 2020 season was clearly better than the 2019 season, so hopefully he won all of his bowl games. So here we go. All right, they went to 2. They got to the college football playoffs. All right, so the SEC championship against Alabama, they lose. Not great. 65% completion percentage, 408 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and y'all lose? Yikes. The defense gave up 52 points. Alrighty. So I guess we won't blame this one too much. I mean, they put up 15 points in the fourth quarter, 14 points in the third quarter. So, I mean, solid scoring throughout the entire game. 17 points combined in the first half, 29 points combined in the second half. Just unfortunate. I mean, the defense gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter. So, alrighty, we would say this is a little bit of a competitive game here. Not going to put the blunt of the loss there on Kyle Trask, especially with this kind of stat line, especially in this game, 65% completion percentage, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, not turning the ball over. That's what we're talking about. Oh, and he also had a rushing touchdown. Give this man 4 touchdowns. Alrighty. So the man played good, just the defense couldn't hold it up, but they still get into the college football playoffs, which I was not a fan of, but they still get in anyway, and they did not win that game either against Oklahoma, and this is where Kyle Trask really kind of floundered here. 57% completion percentage, 158 yards, no touchdowns, 3 picks. That is absolutely atrocious in a college football playoff game. Come on, gotta do way better than that. So that is a kind of a little bit of a big red flag there on Kyle Trask. Let's go back to this Alabama game because I kind of want to see how he compared to Mac Jones. I mean, they're both in the same draft this year, so if he kind of got outplayed offensively by Mac Jones, that's not going to be the greatest either. That could be another little red flag. So let's go back to this Florida-Alabama SEC championship game in 2020. Alrighty, here we go. Mac Jones, holy cow, 76% completion percentage against Kyle Trask. Yikes. 418 yards. So the yards were about the same. Completions and attempts were about the same. Mac Jones had 43 attempts. Kyle Trask had 40. So, I mean, 3 more attempts, and Mac Jones had a 11% better completion percentage. Yards are about the same. Touchdowns, he had 5 passing touchdowns and 1 interception, where we know Kyle Trask had the 3 passing touchdowns and the 1 rushing touchdown. Alrighty, so Mac Jones touchdowns all passing. So overall, Kyle Trask did play a little bit better than Mac Jones played a little bit better than Kyle Trask, but not too much. Defense of Alabama stepped up a little bit more. A little bit. Alrighty. So a little bit of a red flag here from Kyle Trask here in 2020, just on that kind of playoff game against Oklahoma, getting absolutely blown out and throwing 3 interceptions, not great at all. And then just kind of getting outperformed by your counterpart doesn't look that great either. So, alrighty. The season overall was great. The ending to the season for Kyle Trask, not the greatest. And we do like to kind of weigh bowl games heavy. So, alrighty, we will have to kind of take note of that. Not great in 2020 bowl game. Let's note that. If I can get my pens. Where are my pens at? Well, I don't even know where that pen went, so we will have to mark that later. We'll keep that in mind. Don't know where that pen went. Wild. Alrighty. Alright, so now we broke down the stats. Let's go into the tape. So we do have a 2020 highlight package from this man, seeing what this man can do. And then we also have the Cotton Bowl game against Oklahoma. Why did this man struggle so much? So we'll watch him on the offensive side of the football to kind of see where everything went wrong. So here we go. Let's see first Kyle Trask, quarterback from Florida. Let's see what this man can do. Let's get hype on this man. Let's see what this man can do. Here we go. Roll the tape. First play on the goal line, play action pass, dumping it off to their great old tight end, Kyle Pitts, something like that. Pitts is his last name, and he's going to be real great in this league. Great pickup if you can get a tight end in this draft. Alrighty, second play going a little high over the middle. Decent throw there. Now back in the red zone. Just a 1-on-1 route. Easy side there. Another throw from the 5-yard line, and once again, a little tight here. This defender doesn't come back in to play the ball. Once again, Kyle Pitts right there to get it done. Absolutely fantastic. Alrighty. Wide open pass there. Not wide open, but decently open there for like 10 yards. Rolling out of the pocket, delivering a slant over the middle that's wide open, and this receiver takes it all the way. We are big fans of this man as well. I mean, we've watched a lot of kind of Florida players at their tight end position. We've also looked at this man. I remember this play. But Kyle Trask, I mean, kind of wide open on all these passes so far. Back of the end zone, this one's a perfect one right here. Nice 25-yard strike, high and away where only the receiver can get it. Yes, sir. All right, back to the 20-yard line, falling back. Puts it right on the money in the end zone. All righty. Another end zone shot here. Low and away for Kyle Pitts to go and get the ball. Fantastic work. A little bit better by the tight end there. Nice throw, completion on the sideline. Dropping back. Going a little deep, a little underthrown. We see Pitts having to kind of stop a little bit and come back. So let's count the yards on this one. Throwing it from the 20-yard line to the 40. So about, what is that, 40 yards? Nothing great there. Alrighty. So far, not seeing anything great by this man. Everything's kind of wide open, dump-offs real quick. Nothing truly impressive. No 50-yard bombs right on the money. No tightly contested throws so far. Here we go, back of the end zone. This one's very tightly contested. Probably shouldn't even been a catch. Possibly should have been a pick. But, I mean, this is what Pitts is doing. I mean, he's going up there and getting it now. What we do like about Kyle Trask right here on this throw is that he's trusting his receivers. He's trusting his big, tall weapons. But throwing this one in double coverage, this is a lucky touchdown or, a pick or a breakup in the end zone, which is not great. But that's what Pitts can bring to your team at the tight end position. Another just kind of on the goal line, wide open, right on the 1-yard line, just delivering the ball. Dropping back. All right, hitting a nice comeback route on the sideline for about 15 yards. Everything's not really deep here. All righty, a little bit of a jumping throw there. Once again, a little wide open. Basically wide open. The receiver does the rest. Alrighty. On the red zone again. Rolling out, looking back left. Hits a wide open receiver with an extra receiver there to block. I mean, once again, Kyle Pitts, man. Freak. That man's great. Alrighty, here we go. This is a good throw right here. This is what we're talking about. Dropping back, seeing it, fitting it in that kind of little bit of a tighter zone as it's collapsing. So there we go. Let's count the yards on this one as well. Throwing it from the 30, getting it all the way down to the 40. So once again, like a 30-yard throw, light throw, but the accuracy, the position of the ball, that's fantastic. That's the best throw we've seen of this highlight package, so I'll give him that one. All right, speed option to the left. He keeps it. Let's see the speed. Okay, yeah, so he's definitely not a dual threat quarterback. I would put him probably a step under Ryan Tannehill. Nice throw on the sideline, but once again, a little bit too much inside, and this is just Pitts doing all the work here, jumping inside and making that defender fall so he can catch the ball inside, because that's very much thrown inside, and you got to throw that on the back shoulder on the sideline. But back to his speed, nothing really great here. I want to kind of clock him at like Sam Darnold speed. Not great. Oh, my goodness. Look at this throw. Really thread the needle on in this one. Ooh, that's a great throw, man. That's a fantastic throw. I'll give him this one as well in the red zone for about a 20-yard strike. Yeah, I'll give him 20 yards on that throw. Back of the end zone. Yes, sir. That's a perfect pass right there. Another one in the end zone, just kind of an easy route. I mean, when you're throwing to a 6'7" tight end, a big old beefy tight end on the 1-yard line, I mean, just throw it up in the slants, and that's what he's doing. Fantastic. Alrighty, here we go. Against Georgia. Is that Georgia? Nice little wheel route. Let's watch this one more time. This is just a design play. Put it right on the money, so I'll give it to him. But this is all just running back. All running back and bad defense of not staying with the running back. Alrighty, back in the goal line here. They love this red zone for this man. Once again, throwing in the back of the end zone. Just getting it out of the outstretched hands of that defender. Back of the end zone touchdown. against Texas A&M, going deep here. Alrighty, there. That's what we're talking about. Deep pass, throwing it from the 45-yard line, getting it all the way to the 40-yard pass there. Nice over-the-shoulder throw. Alrighty, another throw. Tight coverage here. Is that Pitts again? Because he's trusting this man. There he is, 84. Alrighty, so I don't know, man. If you don't have a good old catching tight end, I don't know if you can draft Kyle Trask, man. Good throw here, but once again, just kind of wide open. Little bit of a wheel route on this one as well. Defense can't keep up with it. All right, rifling it in there. Saw this. This was open. I mean, this is a good throw. I'll give him this one as well. Great positioning on that throw as the receiver is running into the kind of like 3 defenders, placing it right on the money. Alrighty. Rolling out, throwing back left. There we go. This is a ball too. Look at this one. Throwing it from the 10-yard line, from the middle of the hash, getting it all the way down to about the 50. 45-50 on the left side of the hash, so that's some great arm strength as well. Nice down the field throw on the opposite side of the field. Now we're starting to talk about some good accuracy here. Great ball right there. I mean, where this man places this ball, I mean, fantastic. Doesn't lead him too much into the safety. Still has them open. They get the touchdown. Alrighty, now we're starting to pick up some nice momentum. A flea flicker pass. Here we go. Let's count the yards on this one. Throwing it from about the 30-yard line, getting it all the way about to the 25, so about 50 yards. Throwing it from about the 25 to the 25. I'll give him 50 on this one. Alrighty, quarterback draw. Running up the middle. Ooh, did he just high step this man? Yes, sir. Felt he was going to get kind of brought down by a little bit of an ankle tackle, and he just kind of outsteps it. Look at that high step. Yes, sir. Alrighty, nice protection of the ball. Somebody comes out and tries to punch it out. That's a great attempt at a punch out, too. Just not great speed. I mean, this is not a dual threat quarterback. Just kind of he'll pick it up. Maybe Aaron Rodgers speed. Is that a little bit of a better comp there, Aaron Rodgers speed? So we'll kind of leave it at that for right now. Alrighty, Kyle Pitts, one-on-one coverage. I mean, throwing it exactly where it needs to be, so I'll give him that. Alrighty, another one from basically the red zone. Wide receiver does all the rest. A little bit of a comeback route, and then he just turns inside and goes for the rest of the yards for the touchdown. Another wide open pass here. Wide receiver picks up another 25 yards running. Ooh, there we go. Alrighty, here we go. Tight throw here. Getting it in right before the defenders converge on the receiver. That's the ball we're talking about. Alrighty, throwing deep here. Great ball. Leading the wide receiver who's got an easy step on the defender. Fantastic. Once again, Pitts in the corner of the end zone. That's there all day. Alrighty, drafting back to pass. Slinging. Oh my goodness. This is the widest open I think I've ever seen. Alrighty, literally wide open. Alrighty, against Alabama. Yeah, I mean, just throwing it up for Pitts in the end zone. I mean, that's what Kyle Trask is doing on all these throws right here. And I don't want to knock him for it, but, you know, it is something to note and to consider. Another, this is a good one. All right, so the one positive we can take away is that he's giving your 50-50 balls. He's giving your receivers a chance at those 50-50 balls, and that's what we love, especially when you got dominant, tall, wide receivers or tight ends. Yes, take that matchup. I'm all about it. So he's placing the ball exactly where it needs to be on those throws. Wide open here over the middle of the field, just kind of dumps it off. Going down a little bit deeper here on the sideline. Alrighty. I think we've seen enough from this man. We can go a little bit, let's kind of skip through. Wide open right here. Rolling out of the pocket, settles down. Nice throw, but it's like 5 yards. Good throw there as it was closing down. High pointing the ball in the end zone. Another kind of 50-50 ball in the end zone. Rocketing all the way down the field there. That's a 50-50 ball. This isn't wide open. But once again, the receiver, tight end, whatever he is, he plays great kind of box out coverage here. So I got to say, I think I got to give a little bit more of credit to these wide receivers and these catchers than the passer. That's just what I'm seeing out here. Right. I mean, he's squeezing these balls in here right before the defense gets there. Now, that's always great. Don't get me wrong. Look at that one. Look at that ball. Just a lot of wide openness. Wide open, back of the end zone. Wide open there, Pitts. He's going to take it the rest of the way. Oh, my God, dude. This man's going to be so freaking great. Kyle Pitts. Woof. Wide open there. Beautiful throw. Beautiful throw. Beautiful throw. Absolutely perfect throw. Oh, he can't finish. All right, and then we'll watch this one. This will be the last one. Over the middle of the field, end zone, back of the end zone, wide open. Alrighty. So now let's see what went wrong here so we got this Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma. We just told you in the stats that this did not go very well for him. 3 interceptions, no passing touchdowns. So let's skip around. Just watch this man play on offense, see what went wrong. Was nothing wide open, and that's why he couldn't score and only put up 20 points in this game. So here we go. We're about to get on offense here. Oh, we just started over? What is that? Alrighty, well, let's get back to this. Alrighty, first play of the game right here. Well, first highlight of the offense here of Florida. Trask dropping back to pass. Nice little kind of just an out route there. Put it right on the money. Fantastic. First down. Back to pass here, continuing the drive, going to the left side of the field, and this is what we're talking about here. This is just a pick, and he kind of looked decisive to where he went with this throw. I mean, they just ran the same play kind of on the right side of the field. I mean, it's just an out route with the tight end from the hash to the right end of the side to the sideline, and then they try to run the same thing on the left side. He anticipates the throw, and then it gets undercut, and this is going to be a pick six. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Like, I never saw anything great by this man, and this is definitely not great. I mean, you're throwing, out route passes to the left sideline on the far side, not expecting it to kind of get jumped and undercut. I mean, that's not open. What was that man thinking? So, not great there. Pick six to really open up the game. They're back on offense. Let's see what they can do here. All right, wide open, middle of the field. They pick up the first down. Driving now. All right, he just floated it in there. Kind of in triple coverage, but it still got there. Throwing all the way back to the left here on a little bit of a fake. Defender almost plays it perfectly. Just kind of got sucked in a little too much here before the quarterback passes it. It is a completion, so we'll give it to him. Alrighty, so they're going to be keeping up this drive here. They run the ball. 2nd and 5. Give me a next pass. Here we go. Dropping back to pass from about the 33. Oof. Here we go. Let's watch this one more time. Kind of just put this one a little bit too much high on this one. And that's what we saw kind of in that highlight package. A lot of high throws, which we thought were good because you're kind of throwing it up high for your receivers. But, I mean, they're not going to catch it all the time. And if you start throwing high, you're going to keep throwing higher and higher. This time it's a little too high off the fingertips of the receiver, right in the hands of the defender. But Kyle Trask has some blame on this throw. When you have something open, you have to just put it right on the money. And we see this. I mean, this is open. This doesn't have to be high. There's no reason for this ball to be high. Zero reason for this ball to be high. It's high. Unfortunately, I mean, the tight end should have been caught. The receiver should have caught this ball. No, definitely. But still, at the same time, it was high. Didn't need to be high. He was wide open. And because he's so used to throwing high, we saw all the time in those highlights, he's throwing high when it doesn't need to be. And now these are just unnecessary turnovers that he's having. So, alrighty, man. I'm not really a believer in Kyle Trask right now, honestly. Let's watch one more kind of maybe drive. Let's see. But I'm kind of off on him. I mean, just everything in this first couple of minutes is already kind of solidifying everything I thought this man would be. Alrighty, a little bit of is that a quarterback draw? No, little handoff by the... They've got a new quarterback in here? They put in a new quarterback here in this game. Oh, wow, look at this throw. Woo! That throw was a little bit better than Kyle Trask. Are they going to put Trask back in the game here? Let's see if he shook off all these bad passes. There we go. There it is. A little bit of a wide open, but puts it right on the money. That's what we're talking about here. Driving now at the 25-yard line. Trask is not in the game right now, and he almost threw an interception. Backup quarterback almost threw an interception, so you got to get Trask back in there, and they do. Very next play, Trask is back in, steps up into the pocket. Wide open throw, a little bit of a kind of a comeback route for the first down already. Now on the 11-yard line, they hand it off. Gets 2 yards. Let's see this man kind of capitalize here in the end zone. Now from the 10-yard line, empty backfield, Kyle Trask, 2nd and 8. Looking. Throws a pick in the end zone. What was he even going for here? He tried to look it off and thought, look at this. He's not even looking to the left side of the field. He thinks he has this wide open, predetermined route. I'm over this man. I'm done. Do not draft this man. This is the first prospect where I say do not draft him. I'm over this man. This man's Mitch Trubisky. He's Mitch Trubisky. There it is. That's the comp. That's what I've been trying to see. I was wondering what his play reminded me of, and it's Mitch Trubisky. It's high throws when they don't need to be. It's inaccurate, kind of just on the short end of the field when everything's wide open. It's turnovers in the red zone. It's turnovers when you're driving and building momentum. I'm done. Do not draft this man. I'm done. I don't need to see anymore. Kyle Trask is done. Alrighty, we're done. I'm completely over that. Wow, that was bad. So I'm definitely glad we looked at that bowl game, because that's why we judge bowl games heavy, folks. I mean, you're facing good defenses, and if you're not going to step up against the good teams in the most important games in your college career, you don't have to always win those games, but you have to be competitive and look good. That's why we kind of give him a little bit of a pass on that Alabama game, because he looked good compared to the winner of the game, Mac Jones. But now we see this Oklahoma game. I mean, wow, trash. Alrighty, man. I'm not liking Kyle Trask. I'll put it out there. I would not draft this man. I draft Mac Jones over him. I draft every other quarterback over that man. And I don't even like Justin Fields that much, and I think I still draft Justin Fields over Kyle Trask. Alrighty, that's going to do it for us today. Let's see if anything broke as we were going live. I know we kind of looked at this. All right, here we go. Celtics trade talks with Aaron Gordon are still alive. The Celtics are offering a first-round pick and a young player, not Marcus Smart. A young player, not Marcus Smart. Semi Ulije, is he young? But he's not even good, so I don't know. Alrighty, so we'll keep an eye on this. See if Aaron Gordon truly does go anywhere. Alrighty, if you as we kind of get closer here, let's have a little final thought here. As we're kind of going a little closer here towards the NBA trade deadline. If you see a player, a high-profile player being out maybe a little bit before game time, that means he is going to be traded. They're not risking a trade asset. So let's see if we get any kind of inside hints as kind of the games start to get played a little bit later tonight. Look around maybe 5, 6 o'clock, like an hour before tip-offs. If we get some unexpected outs of just kind of rest, you can expect that player to be traded tomorrow before the trade deadline. Alrighty, so we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. We're back tomorrow live, noon Eastern, with the better freaking draft prospect than what we just saw, because Kyle Trask, I mean, I got to go throw up after what I just saw from that. Alrighty, so we're out of here live, noon Eastern, back tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Thursday? I think we do our MVP power rankings tomorrow, and James Harden's still going to be number 1. So if you don't want to watch the show tomorrow, there's a spoiler for you. Alrighty, so we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.